Good evening. Today I'm going to take into account the methods of depreciation, methods of calculating the depreciation. When we go for methods of depreciation, we are having eight methods. Already I told you, we are having eight methods of depreciation. In this, first four are very important, and after that, the next four methods they are very rarely used. Okay, and among the first four methods, the first method is fixed installment method, and this is also known as fixed percentage method, straight line method, okay, original cost method, like that. You will come across. You will come across this straight line method and original cost method. Under this method, depreciation is calculated on the cost of the asset, and the same amount of depreciation it will be deducted every year from the cost of the asset. This is compulsory. That is, the amount of depreciation it will not change. It will not change. Okay, only the asset value it will come down, and at the end of the useful life, estimated useful life, the asset value will become zero. The asset value will become zero. So when the asset value when it becomes zero, then the businessman or the organization, what it will do is it will replace the old asset with a new asset. It will replace the old asset with a new asset. So like this you'll come across in fixed installment method. And before going to this, one thing I want to tell you all is whenever you are given the date of purchase for additional asset, if any, from that date till the end of the year, you have to calculate depreciation. Okay, let us take the financial year. Okay, 1 4 2020, and the financial year it will end by 31st March 2021. Suppose if the businessman, if he purchase an asset on 1 7 2020, it means you have to calculate 9 months depreciation on the additional machinery or additional asset. Okay, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So 9 months depreciation you have to charge. Suppose if the date of additional machinery or asset, whatever it may be, when it was not given, then there is no necessity for us to calculate the depreciation value. Okay, then there is no necessity for us to calculate the depreciation value because the date of purchase it was not given. So like this, people they have to understand and they have to keep that in their mind. Now we are going for the first method. Already I told you that whatever it may be the cost of the asset, on that only we will calculate the depreciation. And the same amount of depreciation it should be deducted for the second year, third year, like that, until the estimated life of the asset. At the end of the estimated life of the asset, at the end of the estimated life of the asset, okay, the asset value will become zero. Then only the organization or the business persons they will replace. They will go for replacement of the asset. Now, under this method, how the depreciation amount is to be calculated? There is a formula for this. Okay, depreciation is equal to cost of the asset minus estimated scrap value divided by estimated life of the asset. Cost of the asset minus estimated scrap value divided by estimated life of the asset. You will come across the depreciation amount. Sometimes when you go for problematic portion, depreciation will be given in percentage. When How to calculate the percentage of depreciation? Depreciation by cost of the asset into 100, you will come across the percentage of depreciation. Taking that percentage, you have to calculate the depreciation amount and you have to deduct that from the value of the asset every year. So when we are deducting the same amount, when we are deducting the same amount, okay, then it is known as fixed installment method, or fixed percentage method, or straight line method, or original cost method. Straight line method, in the sense, every year we are deducting the same amount of depreciation, so it will be just like a straight line. So that's why the name straight line method, it came to this method. Okay, and when we are going for this, when we are going for this, okay, we have to calculate the previous depreciation and the additional depreciation, whatever it may be, all these things. And sometimes, okay, the fixed asset, it will be sold after some period of time. Whatever you purchase in the beginning, after some years, okay, it will be sold. Whenever it is sold, you have to take into account what is the profit or what is the loss that we come across on sale of the first mission or first asset, whatever it may be. Here I am taking mission. Okay, you can take any asset. Okay, so what is the profit or loss that you gain, that is the businessman. Okay, you have to take that. And the remaining things, whatever it may be, you have to calculate on straight line method. In the first instance only, you have to calculate for a particular period of time, say for example 3 months or 6 months or 9 months, like that. And afterwards, you have to go for a straight line method until the estimated life of the asset is over. So this is how you have to do. And in this, when we are following this method, the businessman or the organization, he will have a time period for replacement of the old asset with a new asset, for replacement. Okay, so thereby it will be easy for him to replace and bring a new machine or new asset and keep that in the old asset's place, and he will continue that. Like this, you will come across. And when you go for this, you will come across some advantages, and at the same time, you will come across some disadvantages also. So, what are the advantages that we come across? The advantages are, it is simple to calculate and easy to understand this method. It won't be a cumbersome method. It is nothing but a straight method that we can able to understand easily, and we can calculate. It's simple to calculate. The second thing is, under this method, the asset can be written down to zero. That is, asset can be completely written off over the period of its useful life. So I told you that. Okay, at the end of the life of the asset, the value of the asset will become zero. So whenever it becomes zero, then only the businessman or the organization, they'll think about the replacement. So these are the advantages that we come across under this method. At the same time, we are having some disadvantages also. So what are the disadvantages that we come? First one is the burden of profit and loss account in respect of depreciation and repairs on an asset is not uniform from year to year. The burden of, because the business people, they have to look after the depreciation as well as the repairs of the asset. When these two things, when they are coming to the businessman or the company, whatever it may be, okay, automatically it will be a cumbersome job, or it is nothing but a headache or difficult job for the businessman or to the company to locate both the things in the profit and loss account. Thereby, the profit it will disturb. Okay, depreciation we are charging every year same amount, but when we go to the repairs and maintenance, whenever the asset is becoming old, automatically the cost of repairs will increase day by day or year by year. So it will be very difficult for the businessman to maintain this, to maintain the asset, because the repairing charges they are increasing. They will go beyond the depreciation value. So in that case, it is nothing but a disadvantage for the businessman or to the company. This is the first disadvantage that we come across. The second disadvantage is, if an additional asset is acquired, the amount of the amount to be charged as depreciation has to be recalculated. Just now I told that. When you are purchasing a machine means, or asset means, when you are purchasing, on what date you are purchasing, and from that date till the last date of the year, financial year, you have to calculate the depreciation and how many months. Okay, how many months we have to calculate depreciation. So that thing again you have to recalculate, and it will be a cumbersome, or it will be an additional work for the businessman to go for recalculation of depreciation on additional machinery. Whatever it may be the asset, whatever it may be the machinery that he is having, once for all he will calculate, and the same amount of depreciation he will charge. That will be easy for him. But when he purchases an additional asset or additional machinery, whatever it may be, again he has to think about, for how many months I have to calculate, whether I have to calculate for 3 months, whether I have to go for 6 months, or whether I have to go for 9 months, like that. Again he has to calculate depreciation on the additional asset or machinery, whatever it may be. That is a second disadvantage that we come across. And the third disadvantage is, it ignores the interest on the money invested on the purchase of the asset. So when you are purchasing an asset means you are to invest money. When you are investing money, okay, the businessman is not getting any reward in the form of interest. He is investing money on the purchase of an asset. So when he is investing, okay, he will consider that as an investment. One way it is nothing but an investment. But there is no result, there is no reward, there is no award on that investment. He won't get any interest amount. So that is the third disadvantage that we come across. And fourth one is, it does not provide for replacement of the asset at the end of the useful life. Okay, when we are charging depreciation on straight line method or fixed installment method, this method it won't provide any fund to the businessman or organization for replacement of asset. He has to take money from his pocket or from his business or from his bank, and he has to spend that. But whatever it may be, the depreciation it is not giving, or the asset is not giving any fund for the replacement of the asset. This is the third disadvantage that we come across. Fourth disadvantage. Now, fifth one, it is based on the wrong assumption that the asset will have same utility in different accounting years. Efficiency and usefulness of an asset reduces with the passage of time. Yeah. The organization or the businessman, what you will think is, alright, the machine is working very good. Fine. Let us continue our work. Like that, the businessman or the organization, they will think. But okay, on the wrong assumption that it is going on the wrong assumption that it is going on, nothing is serious. But the thing is, whenever the asset is becoming old, whenever the asset is becoming old, efficiency and usefulness from that asset you won't come across. You won't see. Okay, you should not see about the asset, but you must also take into account the efficiency and usefulness of the asset, whether this is useful or not, whether it is useless or not. That thing also he has to take into account. And the second method I am going to continue in the next class. Until then, thank you.